China just released a model that barely trended, and that's the scary part. GLM 4.7 isn't loud, flashy, or hyped in Western media, but capability-wise, it's catching up fast, and strategically, it's different. So the real question is GLM 4.7 a real threat to GPT and Gemini? Welcome back to NeuroWire Signal, where we decode the most important AI breakthroughs shaping the future before they dominate headlines. If you want understanding instead of noise, make sure to like the video and subscribe. Today, we're breaking down China's GLM 4.7, a major AI release that signals a serious shift in the global AI race. This isn't just about performance, it's about power, strategy, and where intelligence leadership is heading. Why GLM 4.7 matters more than people realize. At first glance, GLM 4.7 looks like just another large language model release, another version number, another research paper, another benchmark comparison. But viewing it this way completely misses the point. GLM 4.7 matters not because it instantly beats GPT or Gemini, but because it represents China's accelerating ability to build competitive frontier models under constraints. Sanctions, compute limitations, and restricted access to Western AI infrastructure were supposed to slow progress dramatically. Instead, GLM 4.7 shows adaptation. This release signals that China is no longer just following global AI trends. It is building its own parallel AI ecosystem, optimized for different priorities, deployment strategies, and scale. What GLM 4.7 actually is, GLM 4.7 is the latest generation of the general language model family developed by Zhipu AI, one of China's most strategically important AI research groups. Unlike many open demos designed for public attention, GLM models are built with enterprise deployment, government use, and long-term autonomy in mind. GLM 4.7 is a multimodal, multilingual, reasoning-capable foundation model designed to operate across text, structured data, code, and increasingly visual inputs. It emphasizes consistency, long context handling, and system-level reliability over flashy creativity. In other words, GLM 4.7 is not designed to impress casual users. It's designed to scale quietly and reliably. Performance. How close is GLM 4.7? Really? The most common question is simple: how good is it? On standard benchmarks, GLM 4.7 is approaching the performance band of GPT-4 class models in reasoning, multilingual understanding, and structured tasks. It may not consistently beat GPT-5 level systems or Gemini's strongest multimodal reasoning yet, but the gap is shrinking fast. More importantly, GLM 4.7 performs exceptionally well in Chinese language reasoning, regulatory contexts, and structured enterprise workflows, areas where Western models often struggle due to training focus and alignment priorities. This is not about beating GPT everywhere. It's about dominating specific domains at scale. Why Western benchmarks miss the real picture. One mistake analysts often make is judging Chinese models purely by Western benchmarks. Those benchmarks optimize for English fluency, creativity, and consumer-facing tasks. GLM 4.7 is optimized for infrastructure intelligence, large-scale deployment in government, education, logistics, finance, and industrial systems. This means strengths like long session stability, policy-aligned reasoning, low hallucination tolerance, high compliance consistency, mass deployment efficiency. These don't always show up in flashy demos, but they matter immensely in real-world power structures. GLM 4.7 and the agent direction. One of the most important aspects of GLM 4.7 is how clearly it aligns with agent-based AI systems. China's AI strategy strongly favors systems that can operate semi-autonomously across workflows, managing processes, monitoring systems, and coordinating actions without constant human prompting. GLM 4.7 supports persistent context, task decomposition, and structured planning, foundational capabilities for agents. This positions it not just as a chatbot, but as cognitive infrastructure. How this differs from GPT and Gemini. GPT and Gemini are optimized for broad versatility, consumer products, developer ecosystems, and global creativity. GLM 4.7 is optimized for control, stability, and alignment with institutional goals. Western models prioritize openness, rapid iteration, and user flexibility. Chinese models prioritize reliability, predictability, and centralized deployment. Neither approach is inherently superior, but they lead to very different forms of power. The strategic importance of domestic AI independence. GLM 4.7 is not just a technical achievement, it's a geopolitical one. China has made it clear that AI independence is a national priority. Relying on foreign models for critical systems is seen as unacceptable risk. GLM 4.7 demonstrates that China can now build, train, deploy, and iterate advanced AI systems entirely within its own ecosystem. That matters far beyond chatbots. It affects defense simulations, economic modeling, infrastructure optimization, surveillance systems, and long-term planning. This is AI. Why this is a threat, but not the way you think. GLM 4.7 is not an immediate consumer threat to ChatGPT or Gemini in the West. You're not suddenly switching apps tomorrow. The real threat is strategic divergence. We are moving toward a world with multiple AI superpowers, each with their own models, standards, and ecosystems. GLM 4.7 strengthens China's position in that future. This means less reliance on Western platforms, less influence over AI norms, and faster internal deployment at national scale. That's a long-term shift, not a short-term headline. The scaling advantage. Most people miss one overlooked factor is scale of deployment. Even if GLM 4.7 were slightly weaker than GPT or Gemini in raw capability, deploying it across hundreds of millions of users, institutions, and systems creates massive feedback loops. Usage generates data. Data improves models. Models improve deployment. China's ability to deploy AI at national scale accelerates iteration in ways that private Western companies struggle to match due to regulation, fragmentation, and market dynamics. This compounding effect is where the real competition lies. Multilingual and cultural intelligence. GLM 4.7 also highlights a growing divergence in cultural intelligence. Western models are optimized primarily for English and globalized contexts. GLM 4.7 is deeply tuned for Chinese language, cultural norms, legal frameworks, and social structures. As AI becomes embedded in governance, education, and media, cultural alignment becomes a strategic advantage. This allows GLM 4.7 to integrate more deeply and more naturally into domestic systems. Why OpenAI and Google are paying attention. Even if they don't say it publicly, Western AI leaders are watching these releases closely. GLM 4.7 proves that frontier-level AI is no longer exclusive to a handful of Western labs. It validates the idea that AI leadership will be multipolar, not centralized. That reality changes investment strategies, safety planning, and global governance discussions. What this means for the global AI race. The AI race is no longer just about who has the best model. It's about who can deploy fastest, who can scale widest, who can align systems with national goals, who can iterate under constraint. GLM 4.7 scores highly on all four. That doesn't mean GPT or Gemini are losing, but it does mean the race is tightening. Why this accelerates the path toward AGI? Competition accelerates progress. As multiple AI powers push forward independently, innovation compounds. GLM 4.7 adds pressure to improve reasoning efficiency, deployment resilience, and agent stability, areas crucial for general intelligence. AGI won't emerge in isolation, it will emerge from competitive acceleration. GLM 4.7 is not the end state. Future versions will push further into multimodality, autonomy, and agent coordination. As compute constraints loosen and architectures improve, capability gaps will continue to close. If this breakdown helped you understand the bigger picture, like the video and subscribe to NeuroWire Signal, because the future of intelligence won't belong to one lab, It will belong to those who see the shift coming.